Hello, good morning and welcome to Manic Fishing. Well, I did a video last week thinking I was better, and to be honest with you, I'm not 100%. I still can't move my arms properly, so unfortunately I'm birth bound at the minute, so I'm just going to keep my video channel going just by doing a few little videos. It's not what Manic Fishing's all about really. It's about going out and smashing fish, but at the minute I just can't I can't physically do it, and I don't want to mess my my sort of recovery up. I've got a big holiday in Costa Rica coming up with John in February. It sounds a while away, but in reality it's 17 weeks, so I don't want to mess myself up. So I'm going to set up my slow jig rods. I'll show you how I do that, and then what I'm going to do is, I've talked in previous videos about me going out and getting one of these John Dories. I'm pretty sure I know where I'll get one, not a million miles out, but I'll show you what I'm going to try and attempt to catch it with, the setup I'm going to use, and just do a little video just to keep in the game really. Right, let's get the stuff out. So I'm just setting up my my leader on these slow pitch rods. What I do when I'm on the berth is so fiddly to do when I'm out there. I do a double uni knot. I don't suppose you can really see that, but basically it's you pull two lines together, make a loop. I go round with the braid about 10 or 12 times, and then I go round with the mono about with the fluorocarbon about 6. And basically what it is it's two knots tightening up on one another, so it's super strong. But you can't. It's nigh on impossible to do when you're out at sea. It's so fiddly. It's fiddly for me here, let alone out on the berth. So I'll make sure I tie a decent one to start with, and then pray you don't get snapped off. And what I do is with mine, because the fluorocarbon is only to stop it getting caught in the wreck. So I only have it about, well, no more than 3 foot, probably. Normally, if I'm reef fishing, I'll have it about 18 inches, 2 foot, but I'll make this one slightly bigger, and that's it there. But I'll be honest with you, what knot I do normally when I'm out there, because it's so fiddly, is with my fluorocarbon, I make a figure of 8. I make a loop, and then I make that into a figure of 8. And then where the tag end comes out, I go in with my braid and out. And then that is that knot on that fluorocarbon. I tighten that up, and then what I do is I make a loop in the braid, and then I go round that braid about 8 or 10 times and pull it tight. And it's the same sort of thing. It's just 2 knots tightening up on another. And I'll be honest with you, it's never ever let me down. But when I'm in the berth, and it's easy to do, I will do this uni knot. For one, it looks a little bit more professional or whatever. But to be honest with you, I've never ever, that knot has never ever let me down that I do at sea. So I'm just trying different things really. So I've got my little light rod set up. What I've done is there's only it's only 16-pound braid on that lighter rod, but what I've done is, because I like to do a bit of wrasse fishing and that with it, I've put on a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader on that, because the wrasse have got sharp teeth and whatever, and they could bite through that. I have got some sort of 12 or 16-pound fluoro, but for one, it's quite hard to tie the knot in it. It keeps slipping out. With the Seaguar, it doesn't slip. It's a lovely line. So I've got that one set up. I've got my heavier rod set up now, and I'm just going to do my lighter one. And then what I'll do is I'll show you this John Dory set up. Hopefully I've got them here. I'll find them. I think they're under the floor here. So what I've been trying it the last few times, and it's hasn't done any hookups. Normally, what you would connect these, I don't know if you can see that, let's do it like that. Normally what you would connect a slow jig to is to a solid ring, and then that goes on to the split ring. But I've got these, and these really, if you can see that, it's like a little fast clip, but it's not really a great deal bigger than that. And I've used it quite a few times now, and the assist hook has never hooked up into this. So I'm going to try it. It's a little bit easy, and obviously where my hands are pretty knackered at the minute, it just makes it a little bit easier for me. So I'm going to put a slow jig already on this and leave it on these on this rod I got given this by Randy, the owner of Temple Reef, and this is a new sort of jig holder which also protects your rod, and I absolutely love it. It doesn't get in the way because it's flat against your arm there, and your jig goes in there, and I'll be honest with you, I think they're bang on. Instead of the you know, Terry's given me some of these wraps. Well, they fall off, and they go, when I do it anyway, they fall off, they end up in the sea and God knows where, and I'm losing them. So this at the minute has been pretty good. So what I'll do is I'll put a jig on this. I'll just trim this tag end up, I'll put a jig on it, and as I said, at the minute I'm having a lot of fun with these new Jimmy jigs. So I'm going to put one of these on there. I'll have a look to see what one I think. I do like the flutter ones. These are great, and obviously these have all had my Manic Fishing logo. That's a 180. That's probably a little bit too heavy for what I want to start with. So I'll put probably, I think I've got a 120 or a 140 in there. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a slimmer jig on this bigger rod, and then I can just swap and change if the tide is like, if I was going to go out today and do a bit of slow pitching, it's a 5.5 meter tide, so you'd hardly be moving. So you could drop your jig down to probably, I don't know, 60, 80, maybe 100 grams, and have it wider. The wider the jig, the better the flutter. Obviously when the tide's picking up, you want a slimmer jig. That's what it's all about. It's not about the weight. Some of these, I've looked at some of these sort of tutorials on slow jigging, and they go, it's a gram a foot. Well, I don't believe that for 1 minute. If I'm fishing in 200 foot of water, I don't need a 200 gram jig. I can get down there with a 100 gram jig, but obviously slimming it down. The slimmer it is, the more aerodynamic it will go down in that water. Streamline, the more streamline it will go down in that water. And I've never really had any problems in you know, in getting them jigs down. So let's have a look and see what one I'm going to put on. So there's 4 jigs here that I really like. This is the one I think I'm going to put on, which is, this is about, well, it feels about 120 grams. It's got the Manic logo on there, but you've still got the width there, but it'll still go down nice and streamlined. There's this one as well, which is slightly lighter, which I think I'll probably get away with on my smaller setup. And then there's this, which is lovely, nice and light. I don't know how this one works, so I'm going to test this one. And then really and truthfully, this is a one, I think this is a 150. And this will go, you can see the streamlineness of this will go straight down, and I know it's an amazing flutter on this. So what I'll do is, I think I'll put this one on for now and see how it gets on. And what I'll do is I'll have a little play with it and see how it works in the water. And literally with this clip, so you can see here, that's the hook ring, there's the split ring. So I'm just going to hook this supposed fast clip on this ring. So that's it. Yeah, once you've got it hooked under there, you just pull it round and make sure it's up in the, that's it. So when these hooks go up, they're not going to catch that. Well, I haven't caught them yet. And the beauty of these, because they're on like a cord, they move so great. Let's have a look, see how this works. So what I'll try and do is a little bit awkward on my own, but I'll put this one down with this camera and see if we can get a little bit of action. But obviously I'm only doing it one-handed, so let's have a go. See if I can show you this. A little bit awkward. So look, see how that goes. Just look with these, oops, with these little, this is what I was trying to explain to you. If you just do these little flicks, that jig, can you see how that's flying all over the show? And if I let that go down and do a large one, Can you see that? Come out, Skip. Let me just try and wind it up a little bit. That's it, right. You see that working? So we know what that one's doing. That's all over the show, isn't it? That's lovely. See, it's tumbling and can you see the hooks, how those hooks are moving? That one is absolutely superb. Right. Right, so I'm happy with that one. And if I show you this, so this thing I got from Randy, literally, you put your jig in there, like that, push it down, and it's safe. And what I do when I'm travelling, I just get these hooks and just tuck them behind the back of this jig, like that. Then just push that jig down. And there you go. And that's all ready, nice and safe, ready to use. It stops it flying around on the boat. And the beauty with this is, when it's in the rod holder, that acts as a protector. Right, let's get the other one set up and I'll show you. Now what I've done is I've just I've gone with a solid ring on this one, and I'll be honest with you, I've just got this on super easy this time. So I know you know in your heart that that's the way to do it. That's the way I was told to do it. So I'm just going to sort of mess about with it and see what one works best. As I said, I'm a little bit knackered with my hands at the minute, but that is the way to do it, with a solid ring on that split ring. And you can see the hook, as the hooks have their own ring on that solid ring. So I shall try and mess about, see what's best. Right, let's see if I can show you how this one works. If I can do it. Right. So now this is the much lighter. This is my lighter setup. But can you just see? Look at the little movements I'm doing with my tip and how that jig is moving. Can you see that? So really and truthfully, it's not, even when you're coming up, it's moving. So you don't have to massively wrench that rod out your arm and get massive great swings. Look at that, how that's working there. That is just awesome. See, it's tumbling and all sorts. Yeah, so that's the other one then. So these two are set up, ready to go. And what I've done is, with this rod, because you can't, I've put a bit of tape around there, so that just protects it when it goes in the rod holder. And then I'll use one of Terry's, we'll use one of Terry's lure wraps. So this just goes round your rod, like that. And then that just literally wraps round. Wraps around like that. And then that's safe. So when you're traveling out, it's not, you've got your jigs already up. So as soon as you get on the ground, bang, you're there. You haven't got to put your, put your jig on and mess about. A lot of people do that, but I'm ready, and I'm ready to go there. I suppose I could put I suppose I could actually put this down further. Let's have a look. So I could probably put that there as well, couldn't I? Like that. And then that's a protector as well, isn't it? That will protect it in the... So yeah, let's try that. I'll make my mind up in a minute. Put that like that. That's it. And then when that goes in that protects that as well. So yeah, right, I'm going to try and find these red gill. They're called deltas. They're a 70mm white attractor, just a nice small with nice little hooks on. That's what I've been told I should get these John Dories on. Let me have a look under this floor, see if I've got one. Well, I can't seem to find my deltas. They must be on my in my bag at home. But what another idea I've got with this is just using a really small, I've got some drift shads here. If I show you, this is just like a 15 gram little 15 gram jig. So let me just try and show you this. You see how that works? It's just swimming. It's got a nice little see how that works? Beautiful. And like on a little tide like this, you can just literally drift across this reef where I think they're going to be, and hopefully pick one up. Let me just show you this. So basically what this is I've just got a little lure clip on that, and it's just a little weedless drift 15 gram, a little shad. And these are absolutely fantastic, nice and light. You don't want anything heavy. The tide will take it. I can work that lovely. So I think I'll probably use this. And also what my intentions were, obviously I can't find these ever organised Manic fishing, but I can't seem to find these other ones. But what I would use it, I'd use it on this rod, which is a 6-12, which is, I mean, the rod's irrelevant really, but it's a nice light rod. This is what I use for wrecking, and all I would have on this is what I've got on it. It's already set up for a wrecking setup. So I've just got a long tangle free boom on there, a bead and a snap swivel, and then all I would do is literally fish them like I would normally with a 6-8 foot trace on fluorocarbon. These are already made up, as you know, that's how I do it. But literally the delta is like a little 70 gram jig, and then just literally do exactly the same as you would wrecking. Let it go to the bottom, probably give it only about 5 or 6 turns and let it go back down, and with the long trace that'll work lovely in the tide. Yeah, I must have them deltas somewhere at home. Listen, I hope you get something from the video. I'm sorry I can't get out. I'm just literally, I'm pretty knackered, and I don't want to spoil my recovery, and just for the sake of getting out there and trying. It's a pretty rubbish tide today. It's only really a conger tide. I was hoping to get out. I know John's having a few bream and whatever else today. I think he's had a few congers, but yeah, just for the sake of risking it, I'd rather not bother. But yeah, hopefully I'm all set up for the next time I go out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do a video, if this comes out all right, of you seeing those lures there. I'm going to try and set up the 360, possibly put one in the water and then have one coming over the top, and try and show you these jigs. It's very awkward to do on my own. I might get the skills of the saltwater angler over here. Matt's pretty good and he loves messing about with lures, so I might get him over here and we'll try another one. The water clarity at the minute is not too bad. We've got rid of that May rot. Listen, hope you're getting something from the video. Normal fishing will resume as soon as I can. I can't do more than what I can. I'm itching to get out, but until I get the all clear and I physically feel well enough to go out, then I will. Thanks very much for watching. At the end of the video you'll see a prompt for another video. Watch that one, that'd be epic, and then you'll see my Manic Fishing logo. Hit that logo, that's my subscribe button. As I said, hopefully we'll be going out and we'll be trying to catch this John Dory in the next few weeks. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.